Hey YouTubers, today we're going to be refinishing a floor. I'm going to demonstrate how to use a random orbit sander because we're sanding the perimeter of the floor. So let's get into our demonstration. Going around the perimeter for now, and then we're going to bring in a floor sander to do the bulk of the area. But you can see here around this fireplace where we're sanding about 3 or 4 inches away from the edge. And I'm just going to demonstrate how we use this random orbit sander on the floor. Just a quick reminder, YouTubers, before we get started, we want to wear the proper equipment when we're working with power tools. So today we're going to be wearing a dust mask. You could wear a respirator in this case because we're sanding down urethane finish into fine particles. We want to protect ourselves the best we can. I'm going to be using a dust mask today, but you could wear a respirator and of course safety glasses or goggles. And so now I think we're ready to go. You can see that we have been sanding, we've come along to this point, so we have to do this to do the remainder of our perimeter of the floor. So we're going to use our random orbit sander. We have a fresh disc on here, and it should be 80 grit. This is a little finer, but to really get this urethane surface off, we should be using 80 grit. Nothing really coarser than that, but nothing too much finer either. Maybe 100 grit at the very finest. But for demonstration purposes, we're going to use what we have today. So let's get going. Safety glasses on, dust mask. And so we want to let the machine do the work, so we're just going to float the machine over the surface, like so. And we're going to try to resist the temptation to press down too hard. It's a natural reaction, but we want to let the machine do the work. So let's see how it goes. So you notice how this disc, this bottom part of this machine, spins. If we start pushing too hard, it will stop it from spinning. It will lock it up and it won't function properly. As long as it's spinning, randomly orbiting, it'll do the work for us. So this board is a little higher than this one, so we're going to work our way down, smooth this out, and finish off our run here. So here's an important tip. When we're finished doing our sanding project, we want to discard the hook and loop sanding disc, and then we always want to clean out our vacuum bag, our dust collector. We want to make sure all the sawdust is out of the sanding unit. You can see the sawdust has been collected in there, and we want to dump that out into a bag. Make sure lots of air gets into it. Now we never want to leave the dust collecting system, or the dust bag, whatever you want to call it. We never want to leave any material in here, even if it's only half full. We certainly don't want to leave it fully jammed, compacted, because what can happen is the urethane gets sanded off and collected in here, and it can actually retain its own warmth as it gets sanded off the wood. It's hot, it gets collected in here, and it can actually combust overnight, and it can ignite, cause a fire. So we don't want to have that kind of damage on our hands. So just a tip for everyone, all the YouTubers out there, whenever you're sanding, especially if it's a urethane or an oil-based product or even raw wood, make sure you empty your dust collection systems, because it could cause a fire if left unchecked. So just in case you didn't believe I was wearing my dust mask and my safety glasses, there they are. And so I hope you enjoyed that quick demonstration on how to use a random orbit sander and how to protect ourselves from unnecessary fires by emptying our dust collection systems. Just a friendly reminder. If you have any questions or comments about this video, if you have any suggestions or demonstration that you'd like to see done, I'll certainly endeavor to do so. It's just a matter of when that particular circumstance comes up. Leave your suggestions and I'll do the best I can. And in the meantime, you could subscribe. For now, it's been Craig the Muskoka Painter, helping you take the pain out of painting.